Today, what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn how to create an individual practice routine, a successful practice routine designed specifically for you based on your needs and the type of musician that you want to be. Now, the secret to this is having a very specific goal in mind and then creating a series of targeted exercises to help get you to that point. If you'll let me paint you a picture really quick, actually, this is a great way to think about it. It's exactly the same as physical fitness. What if I were to say to myself right now, man, I really need to get into shape. Well, what does that even mean? I mean, think about it. What does it mean to get into shape? Do you want a runner's physique? Do you want to look like an MMA welterweight fighter or an NFL linebacker? No matter which physique you're going after, the exercises are going to be the same. There's going to be cardio, there's going to be some weight training, there's definitely going to be a meal plan, but depending on which of those looks you're going for, well, the exercises are going to change a little bit. So musically speaking, the broad stroke question is, what kind of bass player or what kind of musician do I want to be? Do you idolize someone like Geddy Lee? Because you play in a prog rock or a prog metal band, so chops is really important to you. Or are you more on the just straight ahead pocket side? I want to be a successful session musician or doing pop rock gigs and that kind of stuff. There's nothing wrong with either of those scenarios, and even though they're quite different from each other, they involve all of the same exercises. I'm talking things like scales, arpeggios, chords, timing, music theory, ear training. That stuff's going to apply no matter what type of bass player you want to be. But the way that we practice them is going to be a little bit different for the prog guy than it will be for the session pocket guy. So let me just give you a really quick example of what this might look like, and then you can take it from there and you can run with it and morph this and change it to apply to what you want to do with your own practice routine. So let's just say, I'm just going to pick something at random here. Let's say that my broad stroke, I want to become a better improviser. Okay, good. We're getting off to a great start here. Let's just work our way down the funnel and just keep getting a little bit more specific. Let's just refine this down. So I don't just want to become a better improviser. In particular, I want to be a better jazz improviser. And the reason why I'm honing in on a very specific genre of music is because that actually helps me skew the exercises in a direction that's going to be best for that genre. Now, like I said before, we're all doing the same stuff here. It's still going to be scales and arpeggios and all the other stuff that I just mentioned. But what I need to do now is apply those things to a jazz improv context, and that's going to help me develop the exercises that are going to get me to the goal that I want, that broad stroke of I want to be a better jazz improviser. So here's exactly what I would do in this scenario. I'm just going to pick a jazz standard and I'm going to play through it. Maybe I'll do one a week. Maybe I'll do one a day, maybe I'll do one a month. I don't know, we'll figure that part out later. But I'm gonna play through these jazz standards, and as I work through them, I'm going to create exercises that incorporate each of those different practice areas that I've mentioned already. For scales, might as well just do walking bass lines, right? Tons of scales in there. When it comes to arpeggios, I'll work on 3 to 9 arpeggios. Playing 3 to 9s is a great way to do jazz arpeggios. When it comes to chords, I'll just comp. And not your typical, root 7/3 or root 3rd 7, like not the normal go-to bass player voicings. Maybe I won't play the root at all. I'll do inversions and I'll work on close voices, alterations, extensions, and with really good voice leading. I'll just go ahead and throw in some other jazz vocab terms like triad pairs, utilizing pentatonic scales in unconventional ways, practicing 2-5-1 licks, and maybe even working on stepping outside and playing out of the box. These are all just different jazz idioms. It would probably change if your genre or what you chose was rock. Maybe you would include some 2-hand tapping or pinched harmonics or a bunch of slap technique if those were the ones you chose. So again, the most important part here is that broad stroke, that big goal. Because again, as we work our way down the funnel, we get more specific, well, that's gonna help us make these decisions. All right, so where are we with all this? What is my practice routine actually gonna end up looking like? I'm gonna choose a jazz standard, All the Things You Are. Why not? That's a popular tune. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set a 25-minute timer on my phone, and I'm gonna play that song from the beginning to end, and I'm just gonna loop it. I'm gonna repeat it over and over and over and over again. Just play the song nonstop for 25 minutes. So the first time through, I'm just gonna walk. 25 minutes of walking through the changes of All the Things You Are. That timer goes off. Okay, I set another 25-minute timer, but this time I'm gonna work on 3 to 9 arpeggios. Okay, 25 minutes later, timer goes off. I set another 25-minute timer, but this time I'm gonna play through the song over and over again, looping it, but I'm gonna comp through the chords. Fourth time through, I'll work on triad pairs. Fifth time through, I'll work on multiple pentatonics. So at the end of 2 hours, you'll have gotten a complete workout covering all of the exercises that, again, apply to your broad stroke goal of becoming a better jazz improviser. And that's awesome. But what if I don't have 2 hours 5 times a week? You know, what if I only have 30 minutes? Well, what do I do then? No big deal. We just need to get a little creative and change the plan a little bit. So obviously setting 5 25-minute timers isn't gonna work because I just don't have those many minutes. So we have 30 minutes. I set a 30-minute timer. And I'm gonna play through the same song, All the Things You Are, or whatever the standard. But every time I repeat it, I'm gonna change the exercise. So the first time I play through, I'm walking. The second time, I'm comping chords. The third time, triad pairs. Fourth time, pentatonics. Each time, I'm gonna change it. I'm just applying these practice categories of scales and arpeggios and all that stuff and creating little exercises that apply to me, my scenario, my broad stroke goal, my schedule. Now, remember that your practice goals are probably going to differ from mine or anyone else's for that matter, but the concept remains the same. So here's the action steps. Here's what you do. Step 1, broad stroke goal. What's the main goal of what you want? Refine that a little bit to a genre or a style if you can, and then just create some exercises to help you get there. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for stopping by. And by the way, if you need any help whatsoever, if you want my opinion on the practice routine that you've come up with, just leave a comment below and I'll respond and I'll help you out as best I can.